everyone, it's Jeff from midatlanticcraps. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm not sure what G just did there. He put the screen up before I expected him to put it up there. But this is episode 6 of Dice Tossing Techniques. It's the month of June 2025. If you're watching this in the future on the replay, well, I'm glad you could make it. If you're watching it live today, glad you can make it as well. And we're going to be doing a lot of things tonight. Got a couple contests. We're going to be giving away some stuff tonight. Going to be taking 5 contest entries for G's Gargoil jacket. That's a $250 value. That's going to be sent out at the end of the year. We've also got some new Gargoil merchandise that we're going to be giving away in the show later on. But let's go ahead and say hello to my good friend, the one and only, ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Hey, G, what's up?
What's up, Jeff? And it's really, the merchandise is not, you can't buy it. I just got some things so that we can give away during the shows, other than the jackets. So, I don't right now. I don't plan on getting stuff together so that I can sell. It's just not in me, So I got some stuff that we just want to give away, but we'll get to that later. Right now, we got a show to do. So you're the master coordinator. So I'll follow your lead until it's time for you to follow mine.
Master of many things and conqueror of none of them. Just jack of all trades, I guess you could say, is what I am.
Yep.
So we got a lot of people here. Also, we put in some chats up here in the beginning and say hello to those folks. Some people have been here for the pre-show. If you watch this in the future, you missed the pre-show. But in any event, tonight's a very special night for you, G. It's an important night, but I want to let everybody understand that we're doing these shows for a specific reason, and we always cover this disclaimer from the beginning. So, G, before we get into what's probably going to be a little bit of an emotional night for you, let's go ahead and let's talk about the disclaimers and talk about why we do what we do and how we're doing what we're doing and so forth, and that people will see that we don't do this to make any money. So, go ahead, G, take it away.
Right. So, right off the bat, if you're part of the community and you've seen us before, this is going to be a rewind. But we've had some new folks join over the years since we started this. So we always go through some of the disclaimers and what we're going to talk about. First off, this is not a clickbait. So nobody's going to ask you for any money. We're not going to ask you to get a shared condo or anything, or a shared table somewhere. This is, purely for educational purposes. And this whole show and these, anytime we do the dice tossing technique or the So You Think You Know craps shows, which is another one that we do, it's just for educational purposes and to help us be better at this game we call craps. Why are we doing this? People a lot of times ask, do you need 10, 12, 15 different tosses? And the answer is no. Learn as many as you want, or learn one and be the master of it. It doesn't matter. Now, me personally, I learn all of them and I practice all of them and I throw all of them because I need to stay up to speed, because people ask me, hey, how do you toss, the ice tong? I need to be able to show them how to toss it. Now, can I really toss it and master it in the casino? Most of the times, no, because I don't practice it every day. But I can show the mechanics, and this is what we do here. We show you the mechanics of the toss. You understand it, learn it, go practice it, and be good at it. I know this doesn't quite sit well with some folks, but I don't care. I always will tell you who created the toss if I know, or who showed me the toss. And we'll give out as much toss information as I can about it. As always, whatever you hear on this channel and other channels, use the information wisely. If you have a problem, somebody who has a gambling problem, please, 1-800-GAMBLER is a good number. It's anonymous. You can go in and you can have a conversation with someone, or the website ncpggambling.org. All right, let's jump into it. Tonight we're going to talk about the dice magic. Dice magic the dice magic toss is created and was perfected by Howard Rocknroller, who we lost a year ago. And Howard has done some videos out there on it on YouTube and showed people how to toss it. He's had classes where people went in and actually took lessons on the toss. Tonight we're going to show you the toss in using 4 different angles, 4 different cameras. We're going to show you the toss from straight out and from stick left, stick right, different positions, and go over the toss technique step by step. You can really toss this from any position. You can toss it from straight out, the hook, stick left 1, right 2. It all depends on what you do with the trajectory and the velocity of the toss. You can throw it on a hard surface, bouncy surface. You can throw it on any surface. You just have to adjust your angle trajectory for the toss. The height is also dependent on the table condition, and it's using a 3-finger grip. Now, some have, Howard had big hands, so a lot of times, all his fingers covered the dice, but if you really looked at it, he wasn't using all his fingers. He was always using 3-finger. What is the influence? The way Howard best describes it is you're trying to break the all 7 set to increase or extend the roll. And he always, when, we'll get to that in 2 weeks when, conversations with Howard that I've had, he always talk about extending the roll. And he always told me that if you can extend the roll for 3 or 4 rolls, depending on how much money you have pressed up, you can make a lot of money. So, and I agree with him. But before further ado, let's get into it. Again, the influence is setting the all 7 set, throwing it off axis, and extending the roll. If my mouse would go ahead and work. Now, this is the usual view that we have. But because of this toss and the way it, you gotta really see it. Howard only had his phone when he did the video and stuff. You couldn't see his grip and his hand. I adjusted one of my cameras so that we can zoom in really, really well on the dice so that you can see what I'm doing. So this is my table from straight out. So this is straight out, and this side right here that you can't see is where the camera is, and this side right here is the hook, and then stick right 3, 2, and 1. Now, the Dice Magic Toss is an all 7 set, and when it comes to the all 7 set, you can use whichever one you like. If it's a crapless table, I like to use the 6-1 on top, 5-2 facing me, simply because if I throw it off axis, I'll either get double pitching or single pitching. I get some extremes. So I'm going to use the 6-1 on top, 5-2 facing me. Now, you set the dice at a 45-degree angle. If you're right-handed, you set it this way. If you're left-handed, you set it this way. Now, somebody says, "Well, gee, how do you know it's exactly 45 degrees?" Well, it doesn't have to be exactly 45 degrees, but there's a way you can do it. And I'll show you on this dice, and then I'll bring out the big dice and show you. So if you take one die and then take the other die and make it a star, put it right on top of it to where it's a star. The top die now is pointing at a 45-degree angle. So you can take this, put it right here, and then take this, put it right here, and now you're at a 45-degree angle. Let me get the big dice so that you can see what I'm talking about better. So if you have the dice like this with flat towards you, and if you put the top die where it makes a star. So this corner right here is right in the middle. This die now is at a 45-degree angle. It's just geometry, right? Basic geometry. So that's how I can tell that the dice is at a 45-degree angle. Hang on 1 second. My mouse is doing something crazy. Okay.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah. All right. So the dice is a 45-degree angle. So what you do is you get your, it's a 3-finger grip, but by the time you catch the dice, it's really a 2-finger, because the index finger is going to act as a kickstand. So you start with a 3-finger grip in the front. I say 3-finger. You start with a 4-finger, but you end up with a 3-finger because you're using the thumb. So you come in here and you grab the dice like this, and then your finger goes on the edge like that, like this. Okay? And then what you do is you just grab the dice and bring it back, and then you put your finger like that. You don't go like that. You put your finger and raise the dice a little bit. Now the dice is still at an angle. The dice is still at an angle. You see it? So it is still at an angle. What you have to make sure is don't bring it like that and then bring it straight up like this. This is wrong. I see a lot of people do that because they think that that's what Howard did. It has to be at an angle. If Howard intended you to do it that way, he would have said do it straight, pick it up, and bring it back, right? That would have made a lot of sense. But no, it is at an angle, and you bring it back just like that. Just like that. If you're a lefty, same thing. So 6, 5, 1, 2. I'm going to put the die like this. This is a 45-degree angle, and you put it a little bit far from you, right? So this is a 45-degree angle, right? So you bring it up and you bring it back. And I know there's a shadow here, but let me see. See how the die is at an angle? Now you have to make sure that your hand doesn't wiggle back and forth when you pick the die, because that's going to affect the toss. The way Howard explains it is that the dice, when you pick it up, that's going to be weird. When you, I can't do that. When you pick it up, it's like this, right? And then when you throw it, the dice go up like that, and they land one here, the bottom die first, the next die behind it, and it breaks the sevens. So when you're setting it at an angle, my hands are not that big, but when you're setting it at an angle, you don't come up with it like that straight. That is wrong. You're setting it at an angle, and you just come up with it like this. It's this angle right here. This is the angle. And then when you're throwing it, you just lift your hand and throw it. So let's put these on the side for a second, just to talk about the toss. Howard explains it as if you're raising your hand to shake somebody's hand with it. So it's literally like you're shaking your hand. So um, I'm gonna go back to our regular. Oops, sorry. Regular view, so that we can talk a little bit about how you toss it. So I'm gonna go all the way around to this camera right here. So I know, Jeff, you can zoom in on this area right here, right? This cam alone.
Yeah.
You had it set up earlier.
Okay, if you said so, let's see if this is it.
It's okay if you can't.
I mean, that's
So
what we had set up, but go ahead. I might be able to get a little better.
so when you come down on the die, make sure you don't go like this or like that, right? Don't go like this and then bring it up. That's wrong. You bring it up like just like that. And when you toss, you just go like straight up, as if you're shaking someone's hand. Now, what I do is I aim at the top of the rail on the other, facing me. I aim for maybe an inch or two higher with but that's because of my length, my height, right? You have to figure out. It may not work for you, but for my height, it works good on a 12-footer. On a 14-footer, I have to go by muscle memory and mechanics, because on a 14-footer, I have to lean down a little bit more and toss, because it is too wide, too long. Sorry. But when you toss it, you come like this, and then you just raise your hand up, and then you throw. Let's do it this way so that it can land on the other side. 6, 5, 1, 2. Put it at a 45-degree angle. Come down. And then I just raise my hand to say hello. And the dice will fall. Do it again from here to the other side. I'm going to do it left-handed for those of you who throw lefties. 6, 5, 1, 2. 45-degree angle. Pick it up. You come with it, and you say hello. Okay? Now, before I move away from straight out and the zoom cam, because I'm going to toss it from different positions, do we have any questions in the chat?
Yeah, there are. Let me just go back over here and take a look real
About
quick,
the
G.
toss?
Yeah, there are a couple questions, and well, this doesn't have anything to do with the specific toss, but Dustin asked, could you show the all 7 set on the big dice? You can do that in a second. There was a question here. I've got to scroll back. G, you caught me off guard because you don't normally ask for questions now. I cannot find it at the moment, G. I know there's some discussions between Clay and a D8 about the placement of the hand and conditions of the hand, but I don't see the question that I pinned. So I'll go ahead and I'll move. Let me see if I can get that.
You can probably see it. So
Yeah.
6, 1, 6, 1, 5, 2. Now what you have is, if the dice splits like this, it's a 4-3. So you want to avoid that. It's the same thing especially with the power toss and on access. The all 7 set gives you a problem when it lands and it splits like this. But we'll talk about that in other shows. But this is the all 7 set. Okay.
Right.
All right,
Yeah,
now
continue.
I'm going to put these right here. I'm going to move my zoom cam up here, and I'm going to do the same toss from stick right one, and then I'll do it from stick left one, and then we'll do it from number two and on the right and number two on the left. So let me adjust my camera real quick.
You do that. Coming up, guys, in just a little bit, Gene's going to have his 5 giveaways, 5 entries for his giveaway jacket coming up in December. And tonight we've got some brand new, never seen before, can't buy it anywhere. He's not selling it. Gargoil merchandise that we're going to be giving away tonight. So keep in there for that. It'll be coming up a little bit later on the show. Probably in 20 or 30 minutes, we'll be taking some entries for that. So just bear with us.
All right, now you can do this toss from 1, 2, and 3. Howard, I don't know who was with him, but he tossed a 72 roller using this toss from the hook. So I know it works, and I've tossed it from different areas. Now the way it's the same mechanic. The only thing is the velocity and the trajectory, the angle, and how hard you throw it. Simply because the back wall now is closer to you. It's not all the way over here. So what you do is you stand facing the back wall. Okay? This is the same as if you're back here. So when you do the 6-5, 1-2, you can do the same thing. And then you can just do the 45-degree angle. So this is a 45-degree angle. It's that zoom cam. It's the same cam that you had, Jeff. If you can zoom in on that zoom cam, please.
Give me 1 second, G.
Yeah, that one.
Thank you.
So
thank you very much.
It is the 45-degree angle. And you do the same thing. You pick it up with your finger pointing to it, and then you move it back. It's the same thing, except instead of doing this and moving it back to your belly button, you're doing this and moving it back to your almost like where your shoulder is. And then you don't go, unlike from straight out, you don't go like this and toss it like you're shaking somebody's hand. You barely send it over there. The velocity of the toss, depending on the table bounce, but it's a low angle. So I'm not looking at a high angle. I'm looking at a low angle because I moved forward. Same thing with left hands. So 6-5, 1-2. Put it like this. Now I know that my 45-degree angle is like this for my left hand. I take it, bring it up here. And it's a Big Mac Daddy hard 9. For those of you who can't see it, I'll bring it up to the zoom cam.
Good question here from Oz. Wants to know what kind of table conditions do you suggest using this toss on?
You can use any table condition. So if it's a hard table, neutral bounce, you can go up higher in it and throw it towards the back wall. So you can go something like this. Okay? If it's a bouncy table, you can go low and throw it somewhere here so that it can roll back to the wall. So you would do it this way. So you come like this, and go something like this. From straight out, if it's a bouncy table, you can throw it to where the Gargoil logo is on the other side. If it's a hard table, you can throw it a little bit more higher, a little bit higher and more back to the back wall. If it's a 14-footer instead of a 12-footer, lean down. You know, I've always told people, you know, you can stand on your toes and lean forward. See, now look where I am. Instead of like right here, I only have this much distance. If I go and lean, I can set, you know, the dice right here if I want to, and throw it. You know, and that is the same for any toss from straight out. If you're throwing on a 14-footer and you have a problem reaching the back wall, or it's not working for you, you know, even if you're doing a, you know, one of the par tosses, you can lean forward and be right here and then go and throw it. So leaning forward takes away from the you know, like this, and go like that. If I'm standing here and I put my hand down, this is as far as I reach, right here. If I go on my toes and I go forward on the rail on my stomach, look where I'm reaching. I got this room from here to here that I can reach. Inside numbers is I'm trying to think. Howard told me 4 6 3 3 1, because the 6 goes off usually, and then you'll get a 5 and a 2. So for the 5 6 8 9. Let's try it. I believe it is 4 6 3 1 for inside numbers. So let me try it from here, and then I'll try it from straight out, because I don't want to tell you anything wrong. So that's a hard 6 3 3.
Throw that again, G. I wasn't zoomed in. Go ahead.
I'll do it from straight out. So that was a hard 6. 4 5 4 5 3 2. 4 5 3 2. 45-degree angle. Got a hard 4. So we double pitched one of them, but that wasn't an inside number. But if your toss is giving you 4s and 10s, then do a 4 6, not a 4 6, but a 5 4 2 3, and then you'll get the hard 6s and the hard 8s, and sometimes you get the 3 and 9. Howard having chips in the landing zone. Yes.
Yep.
I believe he says chips in the landing zone, not checks. Yes.
Well, same thing. Checks, chips, same thing.
Yes. So let's say he talked about that in some of his videos. Sometimes you have players that think they know the game, but don't know anything about it, and they stack their chips right at the don't pass, like this. Right? We've all seen this. So what Howard said, because you're at straight out, well, I need to make sure I don't bump my head. So what you can do is you can angle the toss. Instead of going over here, you can go a little bit towards the left. If you have this rail, let me go here to demonstrate. If you have this rail to yourself, then you can move a little bit this way or that way. But usually, if you're with friends or you're shooting, people will give you room to shoot, right? So what you do is you want your dice to come here or land it above here. Now, can it get away from the chips? No, it may hit it, but you don't want to hit it straight. You want it to hit the table, hit the back wall, and then if you can try and control it to where it can stay in this area, then you do that. So if I want to miss those chips, then what I do is I come over on this side and then I move a little bit to the left. And then I just throw it straight from here. And that was a 12. That's a Dolly Parton. because I had the 6-5-1-2. And remember I said I'd use that for extremes. But you see how the dice stayed away from the chips. If you have a lot of and again, my layout is different than usual casino layouts. Sometimes casino layouts, are up to here. So you may have, this is probably the pass line and the odds. So you have it like this, like that. People are playing, like this. Sometimes, they're like that, different layouts, right? So forth and so on. Then you have chips, over here. So this is a big minefield, right? So you look for an area either here or here to toss the dice. If this area is all taken like this, I asked Howard one time, and this is why, I'm a student of Howard. If I go up to the table and it's like this, I don't throw the dice. I don't need to be throwing the dice. Because what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to try and concentrate. Now, can I hit the dice over here? Sure I can. But why take a chance? But if I'm playing and there's a gap, if I see like somebody, is just moving their chips like this for me, and then, they're like that, I'll say thank you, and then I'll throw the chips, the dice right here. Sometimes people are nice and they'll say, oh, you're going to land the dice over here, so I'll move the chips. So now you have a landing zone. Now you can throw it. Again, you move a little bit to the left. You come like this, and then see, I hit the chip right on top. But we got a 6-4-10. That person, if they're smart, they know what's going on, they'll be like, oh, you know what, let me move them down a little bit. But Howard usually will not throw that. Usually if it's he and I and another person, he's on this side, I'm on that side, we're blocking for each other. Setup. For what?
Steph wants to know, can you show the setup again of how you held the dice? And then there's another question regarding the dice setup as well. So I'm going to zoom in on that side of it. If you can go down to the end and show that the dice setup again.
Yeah, I moved my camera, so you're going to have to do the zoom.
No, I think you might be able to do it from right there, G.
Hang on, I'm OCD. I have to get the chips back where they were, or else it'll bother me all night long.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to put Bill's comment up here. Look, G is actually placing a don't pass bet. For those of you who know, you know.
Yeah, and John already made me do that the other day. For those of you who've seen that, and it took me like 5 minutes to really get the comfort level and the cojones to put them on the don't. And then I had to get a roller, and I cleaned and I brushed and I with soap and all that stuff. I'm prolonging because I need to take a sip of water. Sorry, not water, but sody. All right, the dice set. I like to use an all
Which
7
camera are you
set
going
on
into?
this.
Hold on, G. You're catching me off guard now. See that? All right, go ahead. Carry on.
Yeah, no, Steph wanted me to show that the set. So I like to use 6-5-1-2. You can see the 5-2 in the camera, and this
Move
is
it over.
the
Move it the opposite way. Move it over the other way. There you go. There you go. In frame. Come on, G.
well, I have to figure out left or right. You know how it is these days. 6-1, 5-2 facing me, and then the way you set it, and I'll show you with these, and then I'll show you with the dice. You if you're righty, you put it this way on a 45-degree angle. If you're lefty, you put it this way on a 45-degree angle. And the way, if you don't know where is 45, again, you can take the top die, put it as a star. There we go. Put it as a star like this. And then you can put it down. And this is a 45-degree angle.
Okay.
And if you're throwing, let's say this is straight out, and then you're throwing it this way, you pick it up, and then you take it and you bring it like this, at this angle. And then you just throw it like that. So looking at the dice right here, 6-5-1-2. That's a 45-degree angle. You come down, you got your index, you use it as a kickstand, and then you go up as if you're shaking somebody's hand. The dice is at an angle. It's not like this. This I've seen some people do it this way,
That's
to
more
where
of an
it's
inline.
like straight up.
Yeah.
That is wrong. It is at an angle. It's like that.
All right. Well, if
Any
you have a
more
question
question?
for, well, I'm going to tell them that. If you have a question for G, put it in the chat now. Please use a capital Q with a semicolon. It does draw my attention, as D8 said earlier in the show. Now's the time to ask the questions. Coming up in just a little bit, we are going to be taking G's 5 entries for his jacket that we're giving away in December. I forgot how many entries we have in it already, but he's going to be giving away about 8 of those jackets. So stay tuned for that. There are two $250 jacket, and also coming up is a surprise giveaway coming up from G. So stay tuned for that. He's going to be showing that here in just a few minutes. And let's see if I can get this question. If it came in the form of a question, it just popped up here from Dustin. Set grip so the 2 is perpendicular to the table surface or a 45-degree angle with a question mark. I don't know if he's asking that, G, or he is insinuating that maybe that's the way it should be. So while you're adjusting your camera there, can you take a look at the question on the screen when you get back around there, and we'll answer that. We'll try to attempt to answer that question.
The question is, set grip so the 2 is perpendicular to the table surface for that 45-degree angle. 6-5-1-2. The 2.
Hold on, G. Hold it right there. There you go. Go. Put the dice back down and show it again.
So when you pick it up, it's, yeah. So this is how it looks from the side.
Okay.
It looks like this. It's at an angle right here. It's not straight up. It's not like this.
Yeah.
It's at an angle. If I do it lefty, maybe they'll see it better. It's like this.
While you're there,
me
show the difference here, because Steph has a good question. I mentioned it a second ago, probably about the same time she put it in. G, yes, I see that. She says, it's is this like an inline
no,
toss? And it's
no,
not. So explain the difference
it's
between
not.
inline and this, and don't spend a
Right,
lot of time on inline. That's not the show.
right. So go back to the wide angle so I can explain to them. So an inline toss, the dice is like this, and it goes like that, and it lands. It's always like this. It's always, it stays on axis all the way. So from here, it goes up, and it's literally one next after the other, and it goes down, and then it breaks. This toss, it's more of a, you start like this, and then you go up, and it's literally it's at an angle, and this die lands on it first, and then this die lands next to it. So it's not an inline toss.
Great explanation.
Makes sense?
Thank you. No, it actually does. I just want to make sure that that you got that, because I actually mentioned inline toss when she put that up there.
Yeah. So Steph, make sure you let me know if it makes sense, or I can try and demo. This is an inline toss using the dice. So you pick it up and you throw it. Right? It goes straight.
All right.
Dolly Parton.
See if this makes sense to you. Dax, which is DJ Thunder, a good friend of mine, he says, make the 3-4 kiss the middle of the table. Kiss the middle, I'm sorry. The object of the toss is to keep the dice on axis and one off axis, so you always try to get one of the middle numbers to show. Is that true? Read it.
Yeah,
Read it before you answer.
Well, not really. Either one or both of them can go off axis, which is what you're trying to do. But they're not on axis flying. In the inline toss, yes, if he means the inline, or he or she means the inline toss, then that's correct. If it's the dice magic toss, no, the dice magic toss is always an angle toss. It's in the air like this. It's not like that or like that, and it's not turning.
Yep. I think we answered this one, didn't we?
Yeah, that's from Dustin. Yeah, so
Sure.
it's not really a full perpendicular. Again, if I'm using the big dice to demonstrate, when you're gripping them and you're coming back, you're like this. You're not like that, or you're at an angle. So the best way I can describe it is that the 2 is looking up at me. This 2 right here. This 2 right here is looking down at the table. And this 2 is looking up at me. And the reason why they're never touching the table. The dice doesn't touch the table because your index is holding it up. I don't know why I didn't think about that before. Hang on, give me a second, folks.
All right, so coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to be taking the entries for G's Jacket giveaway. The password for tonight, the secret word for tonight, will actually appear on your screen at some time here in the near future, within the next couple of minutes. And we also have some merchandise that G's going to fashionably show us here in just a little bit, as soon as he gets done with this portion of the show, and give it away. Something for you, something new tonight, something different, something exciting, I suppose you could say. Which
Yep.
which angle do you want, G?
This camera right here, this camera, just zoom in if you can, please. Yep. So when you pick it up, sorry, 6.5.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that didn't look right.
Well, I'm doing it. If you if you see what
Yeah,
I'm
you're doing
doing,
it backwards.
I'm
Yeah,
doing.
I see.
I'm
Yeah.
looking. I'm looking. Upside down. My head is under my shoulder because I want to see that you can actually see it on the camera. But when you set it at an angle, you don't come straight up like this. That is not how it is. When you set it at an angle, you come.
Move to your right just a little bit. There you go. Thank
You
you.
come. See, this is how it is set, and you come like that. Not like this. You set it at an angle like this. You pick it up, and then it's like that.
Yeah.
You,
Dustin is
you can
asking for you to use the
can
big
see my
dice,
index
but
finger.
yeah, Dustin is asking you to use the big dice, but I think we're spending a little bit too much time here with this. Just want to make sure everybody gets their questions in. You get a chance to answer it. Readjusting and throwing the cameras back and forth is going to throw us off on our time. In any event, G. Dak
Yes.
says the magic of the edge. The magic is in the edges. The dice must land on the edge, not flat. Is that true?
It is true if you can land them on the edge, but sometimes they land on we're talking about this edge right here and this edge right here. Right here. That's the edge. That's where they're landing on. Now, if you land it on like the pointy edge, it's okay. It just adds a little bit more randomness, but the purpose of the toss is for it to land like this. On the first one here, and then the next one, next to it like that. It lands like that.
All right.
I believe.
Steph wants to know if you can show the finger placement in regards to the depth of the pips. I think is what she's asking. I put it up there on the screen for you. What are your fingers placements on the pips?
You can, depending on your comfort zone, you can either go skinny like that. I go a little bit deeper, just
Hold
a little
that right
bit.
there. Hold that thought. There you go.
You can go skinny. Like that. And I don't know if we have time to do this tonight, but we can do it when I do the, you can use the diagonal grip, like that.
Hold on. Hold that shot. There you go.
Like that.
All right.
And there's also the ice tong magic, but we'll leave that when I do the ice tong show. We're gonna do a show just for ice tong tosses, and that's when I'll do the dice magic with the ice tong.
All right.
How are we doing on time?
We're all right on time. We need to. I'm not sure how many more bullet points you have, but I'll put the questions up as we went along this time instead of towards the end. Clay has a good point here. And I know Clay very well, and I know that he spent a lot of time with Howard. 20, 25, 30 years ago. He said Howard actually changed the grip at the end because people were coming back too straight instead of at an angle. Do you have any knowledge of that?
Yeah. So, like I said, people were coming back like this instead of at the angle. They're going straight like that, which is what I said don't do. So he changed the grip to like the Yuri, because with the Yuri with the Yuri, if you come like that, then your index finger is pointing this way. So you can come like this, and then you can. So he changed the grip to the diagonal or Yuri grip, so that you're always the index. Remember, your kickstand, your index, always have to face where your hand is going to go. If you bring the dice straight up, look where I'm pointing. I'm pointing that way. There's no way you're going to throw the dice. You're going to throw it that way. It's not going to work. Your hand is going to follow your index finger. That's why if that you're set right when your index finger is pointing to the back wall. So that Howard changed it to the Yuri grip like this, because then it's easy to show people that the dice is at an angle. I can't twist my hand. So yeah, Clay is correct. So I will
I
tell.
see I see Clay toss a lot of his tosses with his hand set
Yeah.
up just the way you are,
So
and he does a couple other Howard tosses as well. But go ahead, let's stay with the
yeah,
dice magic.
yeah. So remember, your hand's gonna follow where your finger is. So if your finger is here, it's gonna go like this. Your finger is your compass. Thank you, Steph. Your finger is your compass. If you have it like this and you throw it, you're gonna throw it like that, right? Because your finger is going up in the air. Your finger is the compass. So if your finger is not facing the back wall, if it's sideways, that means the grip is wrong. Something's wrong. You need to drop the dice and then pick it up again.
All right. Here's a note for another class. I said class because I'm talking about DJ. Sorry, guys. Here's another topic for another session of one of these dice
Yep.
tossing things. He said he went to the ice tongs and lined up the pips on the line of the table to get his angle. I know you're going to talk about ice tong later on in the year and some different other grips. So maybe you can
Yep.
jot that down in your memory to be able to use that.
Yeah. Yeah. He pretty much, like that. But it's a hard six. That's 3 hard sixes in a row, I think. Anyway, Dice
Oh my
DJ is
gosh.
probably talking about me.
I was
Anyway,
going to
we'll
say
we'll
same
do
thing.
that. We'll do the ice tong some other day. So I really wanted to put the insert in here and show you how to throw it on a stadium craps, but maybe we'll just do a show just for tubs and stadium craps tosses. What do you think? What time is it? It's almost
Well,
10 o'clock.
yeah, we've been at it almost an hour, but gee, when you talk about the stadium thing, I know you spent. Let me switch over to my screen. It looks like I'm talking to nobody. I know you spent a lot of time trying to develop a realistic stadium craps or tub type throwing, and I know we have a show coming up towards the end of summer illustrating that. Maybe we could include that portion of that the dice magic into
Yeah,
that because
yeah,
when I play stadium, I have a tendency to start out with a par, and I typically wind up going to an inline toss. But this dice magic, which I'm unfamiliar with, is interesting to me. So maybe that would be a whole nother show.
it is interesting. If nothing else, it's interesting because you can, even though the tub is or the stadium is like 8 feet, um, you can still throw it in a way, especially if you do it towards the corner toss. But we'll leave that to another show.
All right, G. So any other topics that you want to cover in regards to the dice magic, and maybe just a real quick, maybe 90-second version of playing with Howard and learning this toss. Maybe that would help end out this session.
I can't cover it with 90 seconds, but I'll tell you, the conversation with Howard started about, is par or on access the only way to go, because it's going to take a long time for me to perfect it. And he looked at me and he's like, well, the short answer is no. The long answer is hell no. And that's where the conversations with Howard started about off access. We're going to talk about that 2 weeks from now.
Okay. All right. I just did put the password up there, but for some reason my software again has decided not to work. I'm going to refresh the screen and make sure I have it spelled right. Do I have the wrong word up there? Oh, you know what it is? It's plural, guy. It's G's Jackets with an S. So let me just take the S out of there. And everybody that put that in there, I'm going to reset it. And now it's G's Jacket without the S. So my apologies. I had it in the software with an S after the T. Do it just like it is on the screen right down there, and it'll take it off. So if you put G's Jacket in there within the past 2 minutes, re-enter it, it'll pick it up. I'm starting to have the entries come in now. So me being a big dummy on the prize software well, it is what it is. All right, so it's GS, as in G's Jacket, Jacket, G's Jacket. And so far, there it comes. It's starting to catch up with it. I'm hoping it catches up with it. Here it goes. All right, it's good. Dax, who's a good friend of mine here in the area, and he's from the Baltimore area, says, Howard is my guy, but Walt Deem, oops, it just changed, created Dice Magic with Jerry Patterson. I was in a class with Howard when Walt taught it. Do you have any knowledge of that, G?
I can tell you that, I mean, I don't want to, I wasn't in the class, so I can't say anything to that. I can tell you Howard is the one that taught it to me. And I can tell you Jerry Patterson would not toss anything but on access, because that's all he swore and he was told to do by the Golden Touch. So I'm not going to say that didn't happen, but it will floor me if Patterson tossed anything but on access, because he was putting his money where his mouth is, and that's where that's the toss that he created, the par toss, and that's all he threw with the Golden Touch.
All right, Dax wants to know where you'll be teaching a class in person. I'm sorry, go ahead, G.
No, I was going to say maybe they were playing around one time, and that person was there, and Howard was showing. But if you listen to Howard's Tale from the Table on Ed's channel, he was told not to throw off access tosses as long as he's a Golden Touch instructor, and they he finally told them, I'm gone. Right. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Where is G teaching in person?
Yeah. So tell us about why you like to instruct people, but you don't necessarily teach a class. But real quickly, and I'm going to keep you to 90 seconds on this one. Real quickly, talk about the gathering that you had in Biloxi down at the Brownwater Bash on that Sunday morning.
Right. So I don't charge people for my.
And no
I don't charge people. Yep. Yeah, I don't charge people. What I do is I do for free here on YouTube. Some folks come over to the house. When we were down in Biloxi, I did a free seminar. There was about a good 20 some people that came over, and we stayed about an hour and a half, showing them stuff. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. So if you ever come down this part and you want to come over anytime you want to, there's no charge, no fee, no cost. I'll even take you out to eat and pay for it. I've done this to others, because I don't want anybody to say, well, see, G charged because that person bought him dinner. No. I buy people dinner.
All right. So right now we're taking the entries, guys. We'll be drawing the 5 entries for G's Jacket coming up in just a couple seconds. I'm going to put this up here because I got a couple chats I want to put up here while we're still talking about this, G. It's a GSJACKET, singular. I had it in the software as plural, but it's singular. And we've got, let's see here. How many do we have in here? We've got 61 watching, and we have Only 27 entries, so we're going to give it a few more minutes. G's Jacket, letter GS, Jacket, Jacket.
So maybe we should also show them what they're going to get after.
Yep. In just
the
one
jacket.
second, let's finish this up here, if you would, G. Mike Jacobs says, I was lucky enough to be with Howard the day that Craps opened in Coconut Creek, Florida. It was a great time. I bet that was a memorable time, especially since he passed a year ago. This month. And then Clay said, who spent and like I said, I don't want to tout Clay's horn because, oh my God, his ego is big enough as it is. Clay, that's just a joke. Clay has been around a while, and he's told me many stories with Howard. Some that we can't repeat here on YouTube because it would infringe on copyright purposes. But in any event, Howard taught me it's easier to keep them off axis than on. Is that true?
Yes, and we'll talk about that a lot 2 weeks from now.
Okay, cool.
That's going to be one of the major purposes of the conversation 2 weeks from now.
All right, and that's on So You Think You Know Craps, which we'll talk about in just
Correct.
1 second. So, G, if you want to go ahead and grab the
Sure.
the items, and we'll go ahead and switch over just a little bit here and put a couple things up here.
So there are a few items that we are going to be giving away during the shows outside of the jackets. So the jackets are going to be given regardless in December. There's, I don't know which camera you want me to go in. Probably this one right here for now. There's
Hold
this
on. I'm
coffee
going there.
mug.
Yeah, back up just a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Nice coffee mug.
With the Gargoil logo on it.
Yeah.
There's this nice. I don't know what people call it, but it's I call it like a little card mat. It's not fleece. It's Sherpa, I believe, material, but it's the Gargoil. It's like my logo that you see, during the talks with the graveyard and the moon. It's almost like suede, but if you can put it down on a coffee table or whatever. So I have this, but tonight we're gonna give away, and there goes my dice tray, clumsy as I am. Tonight we're gonna give away one of these. You can warm up in a cold day with a fleece blanket, call it whatever you want, that has the Gargoil logo with the moon and the cemetery and all that stuff. So this is part of your drawing tonight, and Jeff will tell you when you win how to go in, how to go get it. So I'm doing these items between now and December just to kind of give away, and please don't ask me where you can buy them from, because I'm not going to sell them, because I don't want to take any money from anyone. I will gladly give them away, and if at some point in time you really want one and I have some left over, then we can talk. But I'm not looking to make any money out of this. This is just me wanting to give back for folks that are watching us, because they could be doing other things. They could be watching somebody else, but you folks are here with us, spending time. So I want just my way to say thanks for watching Jeff and this idiot trying to show you how to throw dice.
Well, gee, we're gonna take a last call for the word for G's jacket. I'm gonna put one up here in the chat just to make sure everybody gets the spelling right. I think I'll grab my good friend Brian over at Hawaii Crap Shooters, and oops, why did that not go up? There we go, Brian's shadow. That's how you spell it right, GSJACKET. Last call. Going to wait about 30 to 60 more seconds, and then we are going to go ahead and give away 5 entries. Now, you don't win the jacket tonight. He's given away a total of 8 jackets in December, over $1,000 total. Actually, $1,250 with shipping going out. But the jacket is really nice. I saw one, and I did see the mauve-colored, pink-colored, the ladies' version of the jacket. It was very nice as well. So you'll have a choice of which one do you want. Some of G's group does have some of those, so that is.
Yep, the crew that comes over every other month, that live around Georgia, they all have their jackets.
All right, so let me bring up the screen here for the jacket. Hopefully that does it. And we're going to go ahead and last call on the jackets. Last call, we're going to take 5 winners for that. And here we go. And 3. Jay, you got your pencil ready?
Oh, let me get my...
handy dandy G notepad out.
Yeah, so I ordered so many things that they actually sent me 3 notepads with the Gargoil logo on them.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
All right,
I'm pushing a button. And come on, don't do this to me again today. Ladies and gentlemen, I do believe I have a problem. Man, now that's going to make me mad.
Well, the Nightbot said Swerve, Clay, and Lou are so far winners.
Okay, so then it's working. I'm not seeing it. I don't know how many I pushed here. I'm going to stop there. We've got the Swerve was the first one as a winner. Then we've got Clay Hall as the second qualifier. We've got Lou as the third qualifier. Let me see if I can get at least one more to come up here. I am not seeing that come up. I'm not exactly sure what is taking place here. I'm trying to get 2 more. I'm not going to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset this. Let me come over here to the screen, and I'm going to reset the software, and we're going to come back. We're going to come back and oh my gosh, that was very odd. Looks like I have a problem with this freaking window. The Chrome window is just they did an update and it's horrible. They just keep updating. It's not compatible with my software, and it really makes me mad. I'm not making excuses. We had the same problem last time. So let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and give away the chances for. Let's see if this works. The chances for the G. Is it a choice G of either one, or is it?
So we need 2 more. We need 2 more for the jackets.
No, I'm going to come back. I'm going to try something else to see if it makes a difference. So I will come back to that one.
So tonight, the fleece. So whoever gets it wins the fleece.
All right. So now this password is going to be called a win with G. A win with G is going to get you qualified for that jacket, and I'm actually going to put that in the chat here myself, just so everybody can see it. And if my name comes up, I certainly won't win it. Win with G. How I just put it in there is how you need to put that in. I want to make sure the software is working. For some reason, it's really lagging behind. And we may not be able to do an entry today. I do not know why this has happened. There it goes. Win with G. Bill's got it in there. Here they come. So we're going to go ahead and give this one away. So this is going to be Win with G, guys. I'm going to take the time while you guys are putting that password into the software in order to win that fleece throw, whatever you want to call it, fleece cover up. Coming up in a couple of weeks, I actually have to look at the actual calendar, G, because you caught me off guard a minute ago and I meant to look for the next show of So You Think You Know Craps. That's coming up on June 24th. June 24th. That'll be about an 8:30 start time on that Tuesday night, 2 weeks from tonight. And what is the topic of that night, G?
It's going to be just conversations with Howard about off-access tosses and why he came up with them, why we use them, the differences. It's just experiences and, stuff, that I spent time with Howard. It's going to be a lot about conversations with him, and then talk a little bit about on-access, off-access, mostly off-access tosses and why he felt the need to do that and stuff like that. So it's because it's June, so it's June month.
All right, so let's go ahead and try to give this away, see if this works this time, and if it doesn't work, and we apologize, and in 2 weeks from today, we'll try to have the software figured out and give it away the right way. Let's see what happens here. Let me straighten this up just a little bit. Maybe that's what's doing it. All right, we're going to take one winner, Win with G, and I want to make sure that... Oh, my goodness. I just dumped all the questions from before, G. Give me 1 second here. Oh, maybe it'll pick it back up. Okay, here we go. We're going to give away... Hopefully this works this time. Let's go 3, 2, and 1. It did not look like it worked. I'm going to wait just a couple seconds. It does not look like it's...
it said Moxon.
Oh, then I pushed the button too many times because it's not showing anything on my screens here. I'm actually not seeing it show up. So the first one that comes up there is a winner. Moxon, you're the winner of the fleece, and this is how you have to win how you have to claim the fleece. This is not for the jacket, guys. Sorry, I'm beating the heck out of my
mouse.
My mouse.
Poor mouse.
Yeah, it is poor mouse. There's the Moxon winner. Let me come back over here to the screen. Boy, this is the second time. This is the second show in a row, continuous, that we've actually had a problem with that. And I'm going to reset this for the last 2 entries while we're doing this. I'm going to hopefully say that we're going to get 2 more qualifies for G's jacket. All right, guys, you go ahead and put G's jacket in. The 3 people that have qualified earlier will not be able to do that. I'm putting G's jacket back in the software just to make sure that it is spelled right, and we are done with that. So we're going to try to grab the last couple of entries for that G's jacket. So we got Moxon the winner, and Moxon, what you have to do in order to qualify, you need to go to midatlanticcraps.com over at the promotion tab, middle of the page, midatlanticcraps.com promotion tab. When you click the promotion tab and it asks you what your prize is, choose other, not in form. So just choose the other at the bottom of the form. Put all your information, please, whatever you do, put a city, state, and zip code in the line that says city, state, and zip. Most people see the city and they just type in, the city name without putting the zip and the state in there, because there are a lot of city names in multiple states, and I have to run you down. Please be sure to leave a phone number. So Moxon, if you will, midatlanticcraps.com, promotion tab, enter that in, and we are going to give away a couple more of these G's jackets. So, G, June with Howard's coming up 2 weeks from today on the 24th. Is there anything else we were supposed to cover? Was there something we want to talk about for next month's show? I don't remember if we were supposed to talk about that.
Next month's show is going to be the par/on access toss, and I don't have my book, the other book that I write down as far as what we're going to do for the You Think You Know Craps. I believe we're going to talk about something that folks asked last time. A few topics that they mentioned.
I'm hoping that the software is going to work this time. I'm going to go ahead and try it again. We're looking for 2 more entries. I hope it works, because it looks like the Google Chrome browser has screwed up again. Let's see if we can do this. So go ahead and bring 2 more winners for G's jacket tonight. 3, 2, and 1. Oh, there it goes. Mike Malone's qualified again, and we're only going to take 1 more after that. So the other one is going to be 3, 2, and 1. Rock is qualified for the G's jacket. So I think we've got all 5 of those tonight. The G's jacket, we don't have to show it again because we've shown it so many times on here, but it's a really nice, it's kind of, the material on it's really comfortable, nice. It's embroidered with the G logo. I saw both the grayish color and the pinkish color one for the women, and we're looking forward to doing that. It says, what, you get giving away 6, 8 of them? I forgot what would you say? Would you say 8 of them?
We'll see. Between now and December, we'll figure it out. But at least 5. I'm sorry, at least 6. But it could be 8 or 10. We'll see.
Here's Dax says, I trained with Howard for over 20 years. Par, Dice Magic, Little Joe, Dr. Z toss, his Yuri toss. Are you familiar with all those tosses?
Yep, one of them that we will never talk about on YouTube, simply because I don't want to have to deal with legal.
Yeah, we're going to let that go. Yep. All right, G. So I think that's going to do the show for us tonight. Back in 2 weeks. Any final words for tonight's show?
Other than we love you, Howard, and miss you, and I hope you're having fun and throwing a lot of extremes on the crapless table that you're playing up wherever you are. And I know they have crapless in heaven because it is the best game in town. You know, I know some people don't agree with me, but I go where I can make money. And one of the reasons why it is the best game in town is because it doesn't have any don't players on it. So
I knew that was coming.
there,
Look,
I had
want to
I had to
address.
say it. I had
I
to
want
say
to.
it.
I want to address a question here to me. Jen says that she misses my crapsy shows, and Jen, I did run one about 8 days ago, but they are coming back. There's a surprise with the app itself, with my shows and with anybody else's, and I held this back because I know when Brian started his stream about an hour or so ago, I knew you went over, so I saved this question. Jen, they are coming back. I'm just going to leave it at that. All right, Joe G, let's go ahead and let's break this up and let's get the puck out of here. Or that's hockey. How can we do something? Puck off. Let's do the puck off. Did I lose you, G?
No, I'm here. So all I'm gonna say is just remember Howard this month, and remember folks in the community. Some if you know. Some are going through some stuff. We're all human beings. There's a person and behind the camera that has a life, and if you care, you care. If you don't care, then I feel bad for you.
Nope, I completely understand where you're coming from, and I don't want to get into too long-winded with that. That sentiment, but gee, I appreciate that. And if you do know, you do know, and if you don't, you don't. DDT, we're VDT. We're just about done with the show. You go back and check it out, and it's a pretty good show. I had a little mishap there with the giveaways, but crap happens.
VDT Vegas Dice. Congrats on that big ATS hit. It's been long overdue, man. It's been long overdue. So congrats. If you know, you know. If not, go to his channel and watch it.
And to Jen saying she's listening to all the jibber jabber, I have a tendency to jibber jabber a lot. I actually have a video in a live show that used to be called Jibber Jabber. I don't know if that's where you got that from, but that was probably
Jibber Jabber with Jeff.
Yeah, it was 3.5, maybe close to 4 years ago. It was. All right, guys, so appreciate all the thank yous coming in. G and I really appreciate the support that we get. As always, if you're watching this show in the future and if you have any questions today, you can go back into the comments when the show's over with, not the chat that I'm displaying that way. Not the chat that I'm displaying that way, but in the comments of the normal video, G and I answer every single chat that comes in, every single comment that comes in. We will answer you, and typically takes us 12 hours or so before we get back to you. And if we don't answer it, go back in there and say, hey, you big dummies, you didn't answer my question, and we'll get to it. So, G, I'll see you in a couple weeks. I'll be talking to you soon. I don't know. I feel like we're forgetting something, and I don't know. I honestly don't know what it is. But I'm going to let it go like that, G. So, on behalf of G and myself, we'll see you 2 weeks of the 24th, 8:30ish, June 24th Eastern Time. Adjust your time there. We always come out with a 15-minute pre-show. We just shoot the crap and literally about craps, and then we go right into the show. G, I'll be talking to you. Hang in the green room. We'll see you on the next one, guys. As always, be safe, play smart. God bless each and every one of you.